Hello, it's Steve Mills here, and welcome to another video. If you don't know me, I've been in marketing now and sales for 25 years. Been running my business, helping and advising small businesses how to market their business and to grow their business for 25 years. Now, in that time, I've found what works and what doesn't. I've found more of what doesn't work than what does. But I've come up with a program. It's all about how to improve your results. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk today about how to get more business, how to win more business, because you don't have to be an expert to know that, right now and probably in the short-term future, things are going to get tough. And they're already tough, in fact. And, when times are tough, you need to think about what are the actions that I need to take. So it's difficult to grow your business right now, more difficult than it was, let's say, a year ago. We're not quite sure what's going to happen. We're perhaps reluctant to spend money right now, and so are others. So what should we be doing? Well, if you think about it, you've got, I suppose, three options. You can pretty much keep doing what you've always done and getting the same results, or probably not even as good a results as you've always got. You can cut back and stop spending almost anything. You can hold back. How the media are wanting us to do right now. They keep telling us we're going to have the worst recession ever. What happens when you tell enough people that we're going to have the worst recession ever is that they all stop spending and create the worst recession ever, and it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. So personally, I blame the media for a lot of what's going on right now. Having said that, the other option is to think, do you know what? Sod it. I'm going to move forward with my business. If we are going to have tough times, I'm going to make sure my business is at the forefront of my competitors, because I guarantee your competitors ain't doing a great deal right now. They're all sat back feeling sorry for themselves. How awful is it all? Don't know what to do. Let's cut back and, spend the next, whatever it is, 3 months, 6 months, a year, worrying away, not able to sleep at night, having a nightmare, can't pay their bills, might be going divorced, might have to sell their car, might lose the house, and so on and so forth. Now, I don't know about you, but I really don't want to live like that. I want to move my business forward. I want to increase my business. And if that's you, then I want you to listen really carefully to what I've got to say. And what I've got to say is this. If you think about growing your business, then there's only really... Well, there's two ways you can grow your profit, which is really what business is all about. It's not about turnover. Turnover is vanity, profit is sanity, we've heard many times. So if you want to make more profit, you need to go ahead and think about cutting costs. I do agree with that. Let's get rid of some of the stuff that we don't need. Now, that doesn't include marketing. It might include marketing that isn't working, but it doesn't include marketing as a whole, because that's what's going to move your business forward. So think about some of the admin stuff that perhaps you don't need to be in an office because you're working from home, and so on and so forth. So think about what you could save, and you might be able to save 5%, 10%, 20%, who knows. You then got to think about sales, and that's really my message to you. You need to think about sales. You need to not only think about it, but you need to bloody well do something. And the thing that you need to do, I believe, is to make sure that you're getting a better bang for your buck. In other words, you improve the effectiveness of what you're already doing. So if you've got a website, if you've got LinkedIn, if you're doing email, if you're going to networking events, albeit virtual, whatever it is you're doing in your 4, 5, 6 or 10 different marketing approaches, you owe it to yourself and your business to work out how you can improve the effectiveness of that. Now, you can do that all sorts of ways. You can improve your words, you can add video to a page, for example. You could improve your headlines. You could add some customer testimonials, improve the calls to action, and so on and so forth. So there's loads of stuff you can do. However, the one thing I want to talk to you about now, and this is one of the things that, you know what, we all, or a lot of us, hate doing. When I talk to people about it, they say, yeah, I really ought to do that, Steve. And I'm gonna. They say they're gonna, but they're gonna get one of these things called around to it, you know. They're gonna do it when I get around to it, you know. Yeah, I must do that, Steve. I know I must. I know I need to do more of it. Yes, I know. I heard that so many times. And you know what? It's just absolute bullshit, because I know they're not gonna do it. On many occasions, but I really want to try to, I suppose, influence you and get you to actually do what I'm going to say, and that is this: I want you to pick up the bloody phone, right? Pick up the phone. We've got one of these things, yeah? It's a smartphone. It cost me £1,000. Can you believe that? There's a picture of my dog on there. Can you see that? Isn't he handsome? You can't quite see it, but anyway, trust me, he's very handsome. So let me just tell you about this thing. This thing to your business is worth many hundreds of thousands of pounds. If you're a startup business, it's worth 50 to 100 grand. Okay, if you're a big business, i.e., you know, one turning over in the 7 or even 8 figures, it's worth many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pounds. But we've got to use it. If it's sat on your desk, it ain't being used. So you've got to pick up the phone. Let me ask you a question. How many phone calls does your business make each month? And I'm talking sales calls here, and or calls to customers, customer service calls, or maybe sales calls to customers. How many? How many? So I'll tell you what, and I want to be really honest with you, my business doesn't make anywhere near enough. We've got to find a way of making more calls, because when we make calls, when we communicate with people, we improve the effectiveness of what we're doing. Now, you can go on to LinkedIn, and you can, you know, I've got 8,300 contacts on LinkedIn, and I can go on there and I can start communicating with them, and I can, you know, post stuff and so on. But, you know, the real business is won when I pick up the phone, you know, pick up the phone and speak to people. When I ask people, you know, so how many people have you spoken to who are contacts of yours on LinkedIn? They go, well, none. I've never called anybody from LinkedIn. Now, if that's like you, there's a pot of gold sitting there. All you've got to do is to ask for it. All you've got to do is to pick up the phone. I then get people who say, well, I'm doing email marketing. I say, oh, right, great. What do you do? Well, we send out a monthly email. Okay, so why only once a month? Well, I don't want to bombard people. You know, once a month is what we do. Okay, so how big's your database? Well, 450 people. Well, tell me, how long have you been in business? Oh, 15 years. 15 years and you've only got 450 people. Give me a break. You know, why is that not 4, 5, 10,000 people that you've come in contact with and you've grown your list? I'm not talking about buying a list, I'm talking about growing a list, because that's what I've done. And so, you know, you need to think about that and what you're going to do in terms of growing that list. But here's the kicker, right? They'll tell me, well, we send out the monthly newsletter, and then I'll ask about the open rates. How many people read it? They'll say, well, we're doing quite well at that, Steve. We've got about 20%. So you've got 400 people. Let's say 500, just so I can, you know, make the numbers good. So 500 people, 20% of them open it. So without being an accountant, you see, I know that's 100 people. So how many of those 100 people have you called? And they go, well, none of them. Well, why? Well, I've just never got round to it. I've been busy. Okay, so these are people who not only are on your email list, who are used to having the occasional communication with you, but they're also people who've been interested enough to open your email and have a look, and potentially even people who've clicked through to your website to find out more. And these are the people that you need to be speaking to. These are the calls that you need to make. You know, if you know that you're making 100 calls a month and that's producing 10 grand's worth of business, and you'd really like to get it up to 20, you've got two options. One, you can make twice as many calls. You probably do it by just doing that. Or you become twice as good at it, so you get on the phone more, speak to more people. You should be speaking to people, you should be speaking to customers, you should be speaking to past customers, you should be speaking to people you're connected to on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. You should be speaking to people on your email list. And you should be turning those people into meetings, sales, perhaps a webinar, and so on and so forth. So that's the message. Go ahead and do it. If you want any more from me, you've got so many different options. You can book a one-to-one. You can sign up to my webinar. You can go to my resources page on the website. There's loads of free stuff, loads of advice. The website, stevemills.co. Really easy to remember. It's .co at the end. So get yourself signed up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Download my podcast. And I look forward to speaking to you again really soon. Thank you.